Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. Here's a look at the market-leading ETFs for the coming week via our proprietary scans. This is going to be for Monday, June 16th, 2014. Right now in the broad-based major ETFs, we're not getting any signals here. We're down a little bit in volume, but this is going to be expiration week coming up, so keep that in mind. Could have some good volume Wednesday or Thursday to set up for expiration, and also some good volatility. So be prepared to play that. So since we're really not getting anything here out of the broad-based ETFs, let's drill down to the individual sectors. You can see from the individual sectors here, we're actually a little bit biased to the buy side. We've got a few upside CPS conditions. The XLE, which has definitely been in motion this week, has an upside CPS, and that one's got a volume bump to go with it. XLK has a volume bump, but unfortunately no signal there. And the XRT also has a pretty good volume bump, but no signal there. The TAN is also seeing some strength here. We've got an upside CPS. That one's more than 2% above the day's open and nicely above the day's VWAP. So keep an eye on the solar names. I think they're tagging along with the energy names. Also note that the OIH, while it's a little bit down on volume, does have an upside CPS for next week. As far as the commodities go, definitely seeing volume and interest again in oil. Oil's kind of resting today a little bit after breaking out yesterday, so I'll keep an eye on that early next week to see if that's going to follow through to the upside. There's no real levels in the way in the USO until we get a little bit higher. The DBA has an upside CPS, and the DBC has a downside, and both of those are on fairly light volume, mind you. The GDX seen a lot of volume here today, but doesn't have a signal either way. Moving on to the foreign names, EEM, the broad-based emerging markets, has a contra candle to the upside. The EWG that follows Germany has a downside CPS, and that one does have a volume bump. And the EWT that tracks Taiwan has an upside contra candle and a decent volume bump there. Moving on to the specials, unfortunately we're not really seeing a whole lot of volume here. We've got a couple things that are close. The DIG has an upside CPS and will probably qualify for a volume bump, but there's really nothing else sticking out. We do have a downside CPS in the DUG, so definitely in harmony on that call. Let's move on and take a look at the individual sectors and see where we are with the bar counts. All right, here's our watch list. You can see that we're getting pretty deep in the count here for the big ETFs, the broad-based ETFs, on the especially on the Comer. So the spiders, the Qs, and the diamonds could all set up and potentially record next week if we get enough of a bounce. The OIH is also 11 bars up. If we get a little further, we're going to see that next week as well. The XLF that tracks the financials is 10 bars up here, as is the XLK, and the XLY, a little different sector, is also 11 bars up. So those could all record Comer exhaustion signals next week and should be monitored. And that's going to be it for today, guys. You guys have a good week next week. Remember, it is expiration week, so trade accordingly, and we'll see you next week. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.